Morning, guys. So what is the time? It's nearly 10 o'clock, nearly 10 a.m. The kids are home. Two of them are poorly. They're only a bit poorly. Um, so Yasmin was gonna have the day off school, and Tino was crying because he's got a bit of fever as well. They both got a bit of flu. So in the end, they're not going. So I've spent the morning with them. I've said I want to do I want to do two lives, and then we're going to put on some Christmas films. That is the plan. I'm all wrapped up warm. It's freezing in England. I've got the heating on. It's pretty cozy here. Got myself a lovely cup of tea. And I've already had a coffee. I have two coffees a day, two teas a day. I do not drink hot drinks in after 5 o'clock. Yeah. I don't like hot drinks at night. Don't know why, just the way I am. Yeah. So, welcome to Defending Elvis. We are still in the sort of regrowth period of our channel after we've been, I think, very unfairly treated with strikes and many other things. We've had to sort of relaunch our channel because the problem is because we put the channel on private for a couple of weeks, it completely knackered everything up. So we're rebuilding it. It does take up to a month to get things back on track with the live streams, with the videos that we're posting, stuff like that. Just with, with shorts and subscribers, new subscribers, all that kind of stuff. But we're at the early stages of everything starting to get back to normal, but it hasn't been long enough yet. So things will get back to normal, guys. So Defending Elvis, fans want the truth. Defending Elvis with a forgiving heart. That's who we are. We do general topics concerning Elvis, but predominantly we are a defending channel. Yeah. And I like that we have that niche. It's important to me that we are different than just mainstream channels that just want to concentrate on music and movies and many other things, which is great. That 100%. We love the channels that are very positive, very uplifting, but we must have the defending of Elvis, the human being, the true man. It's very, very important to me. And to be honest with you, I would feel uncomfortable if we didn't defend Elvis and Lisa and the bloodline. But of course, I enjoy all the positive stuff. I love it. I love all the positive stuff. So today we're doing a bit of defending. Now, we have been discussing that book, 30 Pieces of Silver, a massive defending book. Everyone's talking about it. We did 2 parts of it yesterday. I'm going to do another 2 parts of it, but I thought today we'll give the book a break because we did a lot yesterday concerning that book. 30 Pieces of Silver, The Betrayal of Elvis. I feel that today I wanted to do something a bit different. I'm still trying to post pictures and videos of Elaine's trip to Memphis and Nicola's trip with Emma from Just a Girl Who Loves Elvis, Elvis Evolution. So I'm sort of, if I get spare time, I'm going to try and post some shorts and stuff concerning their obviously Elaine going to Graceland's, Memphis, the trip to Elvis Evolution, and I do want to do an updated review of Elvis Evolution. But today I had some things posted to me, and there were 2 things. So the big question, we have asked this question before. The big question is, did Elvis want Priscilla back? It's that simple. I reckon this is one of the biggest questions that asked. So I've been trying to do some research on it. I've been getting help from ChatGPT as well. I like the research we have to be a bit more evidence-based. I don't like it to be just opinions. Yes, we have a bit of opinions. We have discussions and we agree to disagree type stuff. But I also like to source some of the stuff we discuss with some kind of facts, research, books, interviews, whatever it is. Yeah. So rather than just chatting about it, going, oh, I think this, I think that. So I'm going back and forth on the research, and eventually I came up with this with the help of ChatGPT. So this one is called There's 2 lots. I'm going to do one now, and the other one that also includes Ginger Oldham, Linda Thompson, Lisa Marie Presley, and the fact that there's a possibility that Elvis was always trying to get custody of his beloved daughter, Lisa Marie, whether it be when he was with Linda Thompson, or with Ginger Oldham. So I want to discuss that as well. But this particular topic, we're going to discuss, did Elvis want Priscilla back? You know, because, you know, we keep hearing different versions, different stories. And I will say this from my point of view. Elvis was a Christian man. Yeah. He was deeply Christian. Yeah. Deeply rooted in Christianity. So there's no way that Elvis would have been happy that that he had become a divorced man. But, you know, you have to understand the circumstances of the marriage. You know, that marriage, the more I look into the marriage of Elvis and Priscilla, the whole thing was a farce. Right from the get-go. Yeah. I'm not going to go into all the details of the marriage now, but it's so obvious that they weren't right, and they were destined to split up. They weren't ready to marry. There's a possibility of forced marriage. They weren't in the right place even to have kids, even though we love Lisa Marie. And the unfaithfulness happened, both of them. Yeah, doesn't that say everything? And then a sort of fake marriage after the first time Priscilla is unfaithful, just after Lisa Marie is born. To me, there's a fake marriage. Yeah, and it's actually some of the pictures you see sort of show that something isn't right. And if you look at the pictures of 67, 8, 9, and even 70, 71, something just doesn't look right. Just an opinion, yeah? So let's read this off. So I had to go back and forth on this before I was comfortable with it. It isn't literally like, it's not just, all right, ChatGPT tells me what to say. It's not as simple as that. You do have to go back, forth, until it feels like it's me, what I think, or what we should discuss on Defending Elvis Presley, the YouTube channel. So let's just read it. So, did Elvis want Priscilla back? The real evidence is the title we came up with. The facts from people who were actually there. Okay, so this is going to refer to a few things. One of them, I think, is Larry Geller's book. Today, I want to go through a very common question: did Elvis want Priscilla back? To answer it properly, I'm only using documented sources, especially from people who spoke directly about Elvis. Yeah, I really want it to be something we can source. That means a lot to me. One of the clearest and most reliable accounts from Larry Geller's book, Elvis' Own Story. Larry spent a lot of private time with Elvis and wrote down their conversations at the time. Just so you know, guys, I have actually chatted with Larry once, many years ago, on my messenger. I just told him that I felt that he was a really good friend to Elvis, and he said, that means the world to me. That was his answer. So I have a brief history with Larry. Let's have a look. So what Elvis said himself. So on page 297, Larry asked Elvis, are you still hung up on Priscilla? Is there any way you would ever get back together? Which is a big question. Like, I can completely see how Larry, his hairdresser, Larry did Elvis's hair when he passed, didn't he? So, and claims to be the last person to have touched him as well before they shut the coffin. So Larry says that Elvis said with no hesitation, no way, no way. Yeah. That is Elvis's direct answer. What do you feel, guys? Do you think Elvis, there was absolutely no way he wanted her back? I was just saying earlier that because he was a Christian man, he didn't want to be a divorcee. So I would say he was at loggerheads with, how have I ended up being a divorced man, even though I'm against divorce? I in my opinion, he's against divorce. As a Christian man, that wouldn't have felt right for him. Yeah, for him, I would have thought Elvis, on behalf of his beautiful daughter Lisa Marie, would have always felt that it's best for Lisa Marie to feel that the parents, Elvis and Priscilla, are still together. I think from some interviews I've seen, they did try and do that when she was very young. Yeah. So I don't think Elvis liked being a divorcee. I must say that. But that doesn't mean he wanted her back. Did Elvis have moments of regret? I expect so. Did Elvis take responsibility for the marriage failing? Some, I would say yes, because he was away a lot. Let's face it, they were both unfaithful. They're both humans. Yeah, they both made mistakes. Just trying to be fair. We know about him. He discusses it a few times, even whilst on tour. Yeah. So I do think Elvis had regrets, but that doesn't mean I think Elvis wanted her back. I've heard a few little interviews from different people, including the Memphis Mafia, that suggest that he sometimes did want her back. What do you think, guys? Put it in the comments. Yeah? So let's keep going. Okay, so I want to try and give a fair view on this question. Did Elvis want Priscilla back? Fair and unbiased, which is awkward for me because I'm on Elvis's side, but I want to try and do that. What was Elvis concerned about with Lisa Marie? From the same section, Elvis explains his real concerns, Lisa Marie not getting back with Priscilla. Yeah, so, obviously there was a serious impact on Lisa because Lisa loves her mum. Yeah. He told Larry that Priscilla had been a good mother, but he didn't like Lisa seeing different men around her because it confused her head, especially at 9 years old. So, my own take as a defending Elvis guy, he calls Priscilla a good mother, or that Elvis said she had been a good mother. I have to disagree because it's hard to explain, guys, but the fact that she admits being unfaithful, let's get the book a minute. The fact that she admits being unfaithful, I have issues with this because don't forget the unfaithfulness didn't happen like years after they got married or before they got married. The unfaithfulness happened within months of Lisa Marie being born, and she admits it in this book. On page 262, she literally says, I had a brief affair. Yeah? That was funny because someone yesterday told me that it was Steve Peck, the dance instructor, that ended the affair because when he went to see Elvis at the 68 comeback, because obviously we've heard that Priscilla brought Steve Peck, the dance instructor, an older man, I think he was around 39, to the 68 comeback. By then, Priscilla had been unfaithful, yeah? And that when he witnessed Elvis in concert being so fantastic, just got cold feet and ended their affair. But Priscilla says in her book, she ended it, yeah? So what is the truth? Put it in the comments, guys. So, it's pretty gutting. She says that when she was seeing Steve Peck, this was a high that she had not experienced. She also says Mark was charismatic. Of course, she calls him Mark in this book, that he was charismatic. And she says dancing was becoming my life. Obviously, he was a dance instructor. I was obsessed with it, taking all my frustrations and feelings into the studio. I found myself thinking about Mark, Steve Peck, even when I was home. And that part of that book, it's The Elvis and Me, 1985 book that Priscilla brought out, that I feel reinvented history, rewrote the truth, to paint herself as a victim and Elvis as the bad guy. But just the fact that she said, I found myself thinking about Mark even when I was home. Remember, home with Elvis, home with a new baby, Lisa Marie. Now, of course, we know Elvis would go away making the movies. You know, of course, that has an impact because he's away for long periods of time. But remember, Priscilla had loads of freedom. Anyone could visit, friends and family. She was the wives of the Memphis Mafia. Anyone that thinks Priscilla was all alone at home, you're wrong. She wasn't. Anyone that thinks she was there stuck with 6 bodyguards living with Priscilla at whichever home it was, whether it be Gracelands or not. No, it's not true, guys. So, and you know, the relationship with Steve Peck made me realize that I could go further than I'd ever dreamed. She admits it, page 262. It happened, yeah? And even the Mike Stone affair is admitted later. Remember the Mike Stone affair, which Mike Stone was married to Frances Stone. She may have been pregnant, and they had a small girl, and Priscilla befriended Mike Stone's wife, Frances Stone. So this is pretty brutal stuff, guys. Two marriages were wrecked because Priscilla felt that she wanted to have an affair with, in around 1970 with Mike Stone, and obviously earlier on, just within a year of the marriage with Steve Peck. I know we've said it a million times, guys, but we have to bring it up concerning this thing about Elvis wanting Priscilla back. The other thing is Elvis wanted custody, yeah? So in the end, they agreed for shared custody, because I think Priscilla also liked her freedom. So Priscilla says that she wanted shared custody because it was the right thing to do, which could be true. But I also think it gave her a lot of freedom. I feel that Priscilla wanted a lot of freedom to get on with her own personal ambitions. Yeah, her desires as a single woman who was I think by this point was very interested in fame and fortune and success and adoration and modeling and acting and TV and tabloids and magazines. Priscilla, I feel, wanted it all. Yeah. And remember, having a small child is not easy. So to have freedom, giving Elvis joint custody, I think suited her interests. Yeah. And after Elvis dies, we see a lot of this. After Elvis dies, we see Priscilla offloading Lisa Marie regularly so that she can pursue her ambitions. Yeah. So I'm not going to say everything Priscilla did concerning being a mother towards Lisa was bad, but I do feel that there were many selfish decisions made by Priscilla Presley concerning her daughter Lisa. I really do. Yeah. And Scientology being a massive one. So let's have a look. So it says here, Elvis didn't like the fact that Priscilla was clearly seeing other men, that it wasn't good for Lisa, men being around her. It could confuse her head, especially at 9 years old. I go back further. I go back to the unfaithfulness. I know that Lisa's just a baby, but come on, something isn't going to feel right, even for a baby. Then when Priscilla is secretly seeing Mike Stone for a year, around 1970-ish, come on, Lisa would have been 3-4 years old. They pick up on these things. And then the horrible truth is that when Priscilla gets caught out or admits it to Elvis, that she demands a divorce. We know she demanded a divorce because Mike Stone has said it many times in interviews. Yeah. People try and give the impression that it was Elvis, but it's not straightforward because yes, Elvis may have also demanded the divorce, but out of, he's caught her being unfaithful. The person she chose to be unfaithful with, Mike Stone, the karate champion, was admired by Elvis. He was a karate champion. So, of course, he would have been embarrassed, humiliated. His pride would have been dented. So I can see Elvis demanding a divorce, but I can also know that Priscilla was also demanding a divorce. So it's not as simple as just it was Elvis's decision or it was Priscilla's decision. It was obvious that was the end. Once it all came out about Mike Stone, it was the end for both of them. Yeah, that is an opinion, guys. So could confuse her head, especially at age 9. This shows exactly where his mind was, and I think it does. Yeah, he didn't like the thought of Priscilla bringing home different men, different boyfriends. I know she had long-time boyfriends as well. So obviously Mike Stone for 3 or 4 years, yeah. But there were other boyfriends as we go into the 70s. So right, let's keep going. Elvis also wondered how the court might view things if he married Ginger Alden and Priscilla remained single. So this is a big point. We may have to bring up this point in part 2 because I want to understand Elvis's relationship with Linda Thompson and Ginger Alden and how that affected his way of thinking concerning parenting Lisa Marie. I want to go into that in quite long detail, yeah. So I want to do that in part 2, okay. But I think it was brought up by Linda in her book. I think Ginger Alden mentions it in her book. Tell me if I'm wrong, guys. Put it in the comments. Anything you know about the possibility of Elvis having full custody of Lisa Marie when he was with Linda Thompson or with Ginger Alden, please put it in the comments, okay. Help me out on this. We can research together. Okay. I want to try and keep it as factual as possible. Let's source the information we give on our YouTube channel, whether it be from an interview or from a book or from a biography or a documentary. Let's try and not just, this is what I think. I want to try and be a bit more fact-based, research-based. Yeah. So Elvis, yes, if there was any hint of Elvis befriending Priscilla, it was always about being with Lisa Marie more. He wanted to be with Lisa Marie as much as possible, and he would do whatever it took to be with Lisa Marie. Of course, he adored her. She adored him, yeah? Elvis protected Priscilla in court. Right, Elvis says he never mentioned Priscilla's affairs during the divorce because he didn't want to hurt Lisa. And this is very honourable, guys, because Priscilla had affairs. We've just discussed them, haven't we? We know about 2, but there could have been more. Put it in the comments if you know of any more affairs. Elvis could have stood there and trashed Priscilla to try and get his way, to try and get custody. He didn't do it. He was honourable, of course, on behalf of his daughter, Lisa Marie. It is Lisa Marie's mum. Priscilla was the mum. Elvis would have respected that. They had marriage vows. Elvis would have tried to respect that. Yeah. Obviously, he was fuming, very upset with Priscilla. But at the same time, she was the mother of his only child. And I think there was a form of love there for the mother of his child. Yeah. Not a sexual love, but, come on. It's the mother of your child. You're always going to have a certain special kind of respect for the mother of your only child. So, and he'll do it for Lisa's sake, for Lisa Marie's sake. So I think it's honourable that Elvis didn't stand in, the hearing of the divorce and trash Priscilla, because he's just a good man, isn't he? Just a kind man. That wouldn't have suited Elvis's personality to trash Lisa Marie's mum. That wasn't the way he was wired, I don't think. It says everything about the kind of human being that he was. Other sources that match this, Memphis Mafia members have said Elvis accepted the marriage was over. So I think Elvis had some dark days as a Christian man who believed in his marriage vows. I think he would have his days where he would think, what happened? Why am I a divorcee? Why is Lisa not with me? Why are we not living together as a family? I think Elvis loved being a family. He did. But the fact that the relationship was all wrong, guys, even allegedly forced, it was always going to end bad, wasn't it? Which completely goes against Elvis, his core humanity. Elvis, as a human being, would have never been comfortable with living as a divorcee. I don't think so. Breaking up the mother-father thing concerning Lisa Marie. He always put Lisa Marie first. So it was a dilemma, wasn't it? I think. What do you think? Put it in the comments. Do you think Elvis always was upset that he had ended up being a divorcee? And I mean that with respect. Of course, I love Elvis. But the Christian Elvis, he would have struggled. I think he would have struggled with his thoughts concerning how everything went so wrong between him and Priscilla. Yeah. He probably would have sometimes blamed himself, but also I took some responsibility. But also Priscilla, of course, in my opinion, just had a different view of her future. She didn't see her future with Elvis as a married woman at Gracelands or the other house. She saw her desires. I also think Priscilla still liked other men. I know this is a bit of a crude point, but I really believe Priscilla still fancied other men. She wasn't ready to be with just one man. And we can say the same about Elvis. Elvis wasn't ready to be with just one woman. Yeah, I think they both are guilty of that. Just an opinion, guys. So Mafia members have said Elvis accepted the marriage was over. I think he definitely did. In Elvis and Ginger Alden says Elvis was planning a future with her. Yeah, so come on, guys. I've read Ginger Alden's book. She's very clear. Elvis had mapped out a whole brand new future. With Ginger, they were engaged to be married at Christmas. And remember, there are sources now that clearly say Elvis did say he loved Ginger. He did say it. There's more than one source as well. So, come on, if you get engaged to someone, you probably love them, I would say. Elvis wasn't getting engaged every week. So he loved Ginger. He wanted to marry her. Now, she had his ring. She was the last girlfriend he had when he died. So that says a lot. Okay, it's my brother ringing me. No? I literally got 2 minutes left. I'll ring you back. So that was my twin brother. Got to keep him happy. So let's have a look. So Priscilla, let's have a look. Ginger Alden says Elvis was planning a future with her and not talking about going back to Priscilla. Yeah. So, and that's from the horse's mouth, guys. And why would Ginger lie? Why would she lie? I believe her. Yeah. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Ginger Alden. Ginger Alden supports what we do. She talks to me regularly, and she wants Elvis to be defended. She defends Elvis herself, and she tells the world about a beautiful future that Elvis and Ginger had planned, even a family. And Elvis was looking forward to the future, to the up-and-coming tour. And that Elvis loved life. Elvis loved being Elvis, and they had many happy times together. And that Elvis has been very unfairly portrayed by many people around him. She even says the people around Elvis towards the end of his life were not good for him. So, you know, I'll keep it as an opinion for entertainment purposes. Nothing I say on this show is fact, but we have strong opinions, don't we? We're very passionate, and we want to defend Elvis. So we're coming to the end now, guys, so I can ring my brother. But she also says, Priscilla herself has said that after the divorce, she and Elvis became more like a family, not a romantic couple. She has, and she also said they were better apart. I don't always agree with that, because I actually think if you understand the divorce deposition, the divorce settlements, the money grabbing, the debt placed on Gracelands, the lien that Priscilla's lawyers placed on Gracelands, I don't see that they were better apart. Maybe after the first divorce, maybe, but on the second divorce settlement, which was I think was extremely greedy, I can't imagine that Vernon and Elvis were happy with Priscilla. The way she literally put a charge, a lien, a debt on Graceland to guarantee that she gets her money in installments, because Elvis couldn't afford to pay her. They even say Elvis may have sold his pre-1973 recording rights so he could pay off Priscilla. That she wanted a percentage of his royalties and much more. Yeah. So do I think they were better apart? Maybe in the beginning, but later, I think I think they probably argued about money, divorce, Lisa Marie regularly. I know that Priscilla tries to give the impression that they got on really well right up to the day he died, within days of him dying, but I don't think so. If you look at the breakdown of what was happening behind the scenes, I don't think so. I don't think so. And when Priscilla says he's the love of my life, I still love him and all that, I miss him, all that kind of stuff, I want to be buried next to him. I'm not convinced. I personally think Priscilla wants to be buried next to Elvis so that she's remembered forever. Yeah, I don't hate Priscilla. I'm not like this nasty sort of hater, but I have strong opinions about Priscilla. Now, I want to give a fair opinion on Priscilla. She's she's not a monster. Yeah, she's not the devil. She's a human being. But there are many things that we can pick out. I just think we're unfair to Elvis. But we have to be fair. Elvis was human. Elvis also made mistakes. He was unfaithful. He could lose his temper. He was away a lot. So I want to try and give a balanced opinion on Elvis and Priscilla. Come on, guys. They were both unfaithful. Yeah. And Elvis liked to do things his way, didn't he? So, but at the same time, he always was trying to please people. So I can imagine Elvis really bending over backwards to please Priscilla. So it isn't straightforward. It's a real mixed bag of opinions. Yeah. So I definitely do not want to be a Priscilla hate channel. I will not be that. Yeah. I know that some people are like, all right, he doesn't want to be a Priscilla hate channel. I don't want to follow Louis anymore. I will never be a hate channel, ever. But I will always expose the wrongdoing of Priscilla, but I'll try and do it in a balanced way where I don't come across nasty and hateful, because I'm not. I have no hate in my heart. I have love in my heart. I want to defend in a way that Elvis would approve, and I think Elvis would want me, when we discuss Priscilla, to give a balanced argument. Yeah, the good and the bad of both of them. Yeah, Elvis was not an angel. He was a human being. Okay, so that's important to me. So it says here, the conclusion, the evidence points to Elvis respected Priscilla as a mother of his daughter, but he was not trying to get back with her. His focus was Lisa Marie. 100%. I agree with that. A very good conclusion. Priscilla was Lisa Marie's mum. That even me, if I'd split up from my wife, it would really matter to me that respect is given to my children's mum, even if we're not a relationship, a loving couple anymore, and that we've got set different partners. I'd want to do right by my kids. So you have to show respect to the mother of your kids who you once loved. Yeah. Going forward. And doesn't that say everything about a person being good-hearted, kind-hearted, decent, well brought up, Christian beliefs, of course. Yeah. Which Elvis was, deeply a Christian man. Yeah. So his focus was on Lisa Marie. Come on, he adored her. He adored her. The biggest victim of all of this really is Lisa Marie, because she gets taken away from her father, her home. She's forced to live with complete strangers. Her whole life unfolds in a completely different way once Priscilla makes this decision to go, to be unfaithful, to be in love with a different man. And, when she packs her bags and marches down the road with a different future ahead of her, the biggest victim is poor Lisa Marie. That's a fact, guys. So then quickly mentions Elvis's plans with Ginger Alden. Come on, guys, you don't get engaged to someone unless you love them. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ginger Alden. And I know there's strong opinions. I always get a big backlash when I bring up Ginger Alden. Many of you have strong opinions, and you're entitled to them. We can discuss them, debate them, and whatever you think, guys. I'm open-minded, but I do fully support Ginger Alden. I think she's lovely. She defends Elvis, and she is one of the few people that stands up, that knew him, that was with him, that lived with him, that was close to him a lot. not fully living with him. I know that she didn't fully move in, but that portrays him in a good light. Don't we need that? There's too much negative crap out there about Elvis from people that were close to him. So Ginger doesn't do that. She paints that Elvis was looking forward to the future. A family, more kids, a movie career. Obviously he was going back on tour anyway. And all the things they did together as a couple, Elvis and Ginger and Lisa Marie. It just shows you that Elvis was looking forward to the future, and he was going to make some big changes in the people around him as well. So big things were coming with Elvis. Don't forget, he was just 42 years old. Okay, I actually think Ginger gets a real hard time from some Elvis fans. She really does get picked on. Sometimes Elvis fans, guys, can be the cruelest. Yeah, I've witnessed it myself. Even Elvis YouTube channels can be so cruel to people like me who are Elvis defenders, to Ginger Alden, who is a defender, to Donna Presley, who is an Elvis defender, and she's his first cousin. So we get we get some pretty bad treatment from some Elvis fans. The majority of Elvis fans are very kind, are lovely, good-hearted people, but there's some pretty cruel Elvis fans out there, guys, and Elvis channels. So I'm getting used to it. I'm thick-skinned now. I think we at Team Elvis, Elvis defenders around the world, we come together, and we sort of know now. We know now that we get the people that support what we do at defending Elvis, and the people that literally attack us and throw stones at us constantly every day. But we're used to it, guys. We're tough. We are tough at defending Elvis. The more we've been attacked, the stronger we've become. The more we've gelled as a group, as a movement. So it's been good for us. I actually think the negativity thrown at us has made us strong and stand up for ourselves. Yeah, with pride. Yeah. So in the end, I actually think the bad always turns to good for us. Yeah, but you have to be patient and stick with it, and sometimes it takes a few weeks, but we get there in the end, don't we? Team Elvis, don't we? Yeah. So I have tried to keep everything as fact-based as possible, with documented sources. I have tried to do that on this review. So the next part 2 I'm going to do is going to go more into detail about Linda Thompson, her relationship with Elvis, and the impact that had on Lisa Marie and Elvis. And then we will discuss Ginger Alden and the impact that had on Elvis and Lisa Marie. And obviously within all that, Elvis's feelings towards Priscilla. We'll discuss if he ever wanted her back, whether he did or didn't. Even Priscilla's feelings, if she wanted Elvis back, whether she did or didn't. If she asked Elvis to take her back, that's a whole new story in itself, isn't it? Because we've heard that may have happened, and Elvis basically said no. Yeah. So a very interesting topic, guys. So this is part 1. I hope you've enjoyed it. I'm going to give my brother a call. I've got a twin brother, and then we're going to come up to part 2. So we are still going to discuss the book 30 Pieces of Silver, The Betrayal of Elvis, but we did a lot on that topic yesterday. So I'm going to leave that topic alone for a couple of days. If any of you have got pages of that book, please send it me. Yeah. It's a very, very expensive book, almost impossible to find. I think Deborah managed to find a copy, but it was $200. Yeah. So, and I also want to do some light-hearted stuff. I want to do some reviews on Ginger Alden's book, on Lisa Marie's book, and you know, no time, guys. I have no time. I still haven't done a proper Facebook review of the book Elvis: What Happened, which I intend to do. So we never have the time to do anything. I wish I could do 10 videos a day. We're lucky if we get 3. Yeah. Take care, guys. Love you all, Team Elvis. You rock. We'll be back soon.